so we're going to go over our stations that we did this week. So we have station 1 that we did. We played our game. Do you remember what game that we played?
Something like Battleship?
Yes, say we did where one student was the pirate and one was the Royal Navy, right? And do you remember, can you give me an overview of what Battleship is like?
It's where you place pins on coordinates.
Yeah, that's right. So we're placing the pins on coordinates, and for this one, what else did we use with it too? You just want to remember these?
We put the coordinates in the boxes.
Yeah.
We placed them on.
That's right. So we put the coordinates in the boxes and we used the graphs for that. So we used a paper version of Battleship. And it looks kind of like that, right?
Yeah.
Alright. Let's go over station 2. So that one was games for mathematicians. Station 2 is covering what we already know. So this is something that we've already covered and it's just kind of giving us a refresher. So for this one, we did the task cards, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what all were on the task cards that we did?
Putting the ordered pairs on the coordinate plane and
Labeling them and then putting them on there?
yes.
Yeah. Alright, so we just did as many of those task cards as we could for that station. And then we had the answer sheet that went with it and you turn that in. Alright, for station 3, this was the fun one that we did at our desk independently. Do you remember where we made the mystery picture?
Yes.
And what all did we have to do to get that mystery picture?
We had to complete the table using the given rule.
Yeah, so the input and output tables, we would make the picture with the rule that was given. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Alright, so on to station 4. And this was working on our math fluency. So this one, where we used dice. Yeah, and so you remember that worksheet.
So we
And-
rolled the dice and we found the given.
Yeah, so we rolled the dice, and we found the given rule, and we did the X and Y points. And let's see, what did you do? So what did you do after you found your points?
We put them in the graphs.
Right.
And we made patterns.
Good, yeah. So you put them in the graph, and then what did you do with the numbers that you did in the graph?
We put them on the table.
Right, yeah. Put on the coordinate plane, and you were all done, so you found your points. Alright, that's station 4. And then station 5, this was the long one. This is where we were expressing our math ideas. Where we made our foldable and we put it in our math journal.
Yes.
Yeah, and so, do you remember here are the words, again, that we used? And so what all did we do with those words?
We put them in a table. We put them in a foldable and we described them.
Yeah, so we did drawings of each, describe, and you highlighted and gave examples. Yeah, that's really good. Okay, so now I'm gonna shift this back to you, and I'm gonna let you tell me kind of what you thought about each station, alright? Let's see, what station 4 is put back in order. Alright, station 1, here's a copy of this again. Here's your copy. Alright, so how do you think this game tested your knowledge on coordinates?
It helped, it made it fun for me to learn about different things.
So did you realize that the game of Battleship used the coordinate planes and all of that we've been learning in math class?
I noticed it once I heard about the game.
Okay, so it's funny how math is all around us sometimes and we don't even notice it, like when we play board games and all that. Okay, so I think it was a good idea that you first said that you put the order that you used whenever you did a table, then graph, and then played the game. So I think that was very good out of the box thinking on your part, instead of if you graphed them first, then you might get confused on your table. Yeah, that's good. But you did that. Okay, so the total expectation that I had for this station, and you did really well at, were being able to plot 4 ships, connecting coordinates, writing your ship's coordinates, and finding all your points. You did a great job of doing all of that. So do you think that this was a fun learning moment for you whenever you did this station, or me?
Yes.
Yeah, it was fun? Okay. Alright. Station 2. So this was the task cards again that we had. This was just a refresher that we used. Just to kind of warm up our brains a little bit from last week's lesson. So do you think the task cards were a good refresher, or do you think that there could have been something else we could have used?
I think we're probably a good refresher, but we know what we learned.
Let's see. So the expectations for this station was to use the task cards again as a refresher. We already kind of know all these things. This is the basic things for our coordinates, so that was good. You did. I looked over your task cards, and you seem to have a good kind of knowledge of where you're at. And you said you've played the game Battleship before, so that probably helps you for sure. That you know those things, how to do those plots. Okay, let's see, station 3. Okay, so this was the mystery picture. So what did you think about this station?
I think it was probably very fun to build a picture and see what it was.
Yeah, did you think the tables were easy to read, the input and output tables?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so that one's good. You did this independently. You didn't need any help. You did a great job. That. Okay, station 4. This was the dice rolling one. This one, again, we just went over, was a little bit more difficult for everybody because it had multiple different steps. But what did you think about it? Did you think it was hard, or was it okay?
It was okay. We trying to understand it a little bit.
Yeah, at first, kind of
Mhm.
the directions were a little bit difficult. Maybe so. Okay. Let's see. So, did you think, which part of the directions do you think was the most difficult? The rolling graphs?
I think it was probably just trying to apply the model to numbers and add them.
Yeah, but once you got that concept down,
Yes.
you stay on. Good stuff. Okay, the last one we have for our little conference was our vocab foldables that we did. And you don't have your math journal, and that's okay. So we're just gonna use that plain example. But your pictures were all very good that you did. They were all labeled and they were all neat. You could read everything. What did you think whenever you added this to your math journal? Is this like a good way you can remember vocab, or is there a better way?
This is probably really good way.
Yeah, so drawing pictures and kind of connecting
Yeah,
it to
and giving a description example.
Yeah. So overall, did you like these math stations, or did you think would you add something else?
They were good.
Yeah,
I liked them.
you did like them. Is there anything you struggled with?
Maybe some of the independent stuff.
Yeah. But you liked the picture, and the Battleship
Yes.
game was fun. I noticed you all
Yes.
liked that one. That's good. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna go through these. Okay, so this is for station 1, the resources used. It has the pictures, has the directions for each mate, and it has the tables and the graphs that they use before they use their plots for the game. And this is the grid that they will use, kind of like the setup of Battleship. Okay, and for station 2, using what we know, here are an example of some of the task cards that were given. And then the students will fill out their answers right there. Okay, let's see. Okay. Station 3, the independent math work. Here is what the picture that they used, and you can see the input-output tables. There it gives the first one, and they build on. And that's the final product. Station 4, this was developing fluency. Okay, so this was the roll of the dice worksheet where students will roll the dice to figure out the rule and build onto the numbers, put it in a table, and then plot each one onto a graph. And for station 5, expressing mathematical ideas. This is where the students would make the trifold and put it into their math journal. They would have that, and then they were given tasks to do. Given tasks to do for each one, and it's labeled here. So they were drawing, giving examples, labeling each one. So some x-axis, y-axis, origin, coordinate plane. So they were just drawing picture and labeling.